When we started this whole Skervesen thing and first builds came out, the reception was very good and nice. People were, I'd say, even enthusiastic because it was something new with, like nice and proportional design, and also we were like open to all the suggestions. So for some people, it was like the first opportunity to make their dream guitar. We just also wanted to build guitars that we always wanted to have and play. So that was the idea behind it. Jarek was having tons of ideas. There was lots of prototypes, different designs. We were checking many options and coming out with the best one, sometimes a bit different than other companies. We are not any big company. We're like small workshop, so we would like it to stay that way, focus on quality definitely instead of quantity. We want to be able to focus on each build, get back to it, check if everything is all right at each step. So we prefer to stay small.
Skervesen Guitars has become one of the leading custom guitar makers. But how and where did this journey start?
Przez przypadek, z nudów. W okolicach 2010 roku. Tak mniej więcej to było. Znaczy projekt Skervesen jako taki to się zaczął troszeczkę później. Na początku to był tak zwany powrót do pasji. Więc tutaj firma na tyle stanęła dobrze, że nie było potrzeby, abym kontynuował dalej pracę bezpośrednio przy produkcji. W związku z tym stwierdziłem, że trzeba sobie znaleźć jakieś zajęcie. No i tak to wyszło. Fizycznie zaczęło się tutaj, natomiast moja historia z budowaniem gitar zaczęła się w latach 1987. Zaczęła się w Gdańsku. Sam mieszkam w Gdańsku. Więc tutaj, to, że prowadziłem firmę tutaj, to zaczęła się tutaj. Natomiast moja historia z gitarami sięga lat 80., więc tak to wygląda. Oczywiście to, gdzie dzisiaj tutaj jesteśmy, też nie było od początku samego. To wszystko się rozrastało w zasadzie, można powiedzieć, w krótkim okresie czasu. 5 lat, mocno się rozwinęliśmy. Ku zaskoczeniu naszym i ogólnym.
We always want to make customer happy and deliver what he wants. To make it all happen, we use only woods provided by our trusty wood suppliers from all over the world, Serbia, Canada, States. And thanks to the knowledge of our workers, we can put them all together using our custom tools like presses and proper glues. So we create a solid base to create a new instrument. Throughout all those years spent on checking all the combinations and possibilities, different kinds of woods and shapes. We select all the pieces to preserve the tonal character that we desire and be sure that it will work mechanically. Yeah, it's just that. It's just proper preparation of the pieces and putting them correctly in an order. Basically, there's one very skilled man right here who has lots and lots of experience with choosing the wood and gluing it together. And he actually prepares all the pieces for the further steps like CNC milling and stuff. We just leave him with that and we are sure that the final result will meet our demands. I have to mention that it all comes from Jarek. He showed us the way, and right now almost every design and all the work that he does with the CAD/CAM and CNC stuff allows us to actually go forward and improve with each guitar, which is what we are trying to do, make an improvement with every single one and become better guitar builders.
Przede wszystkim chciałbym, żeby się dowiedzieli, jak robimy i dlaczego to robimy. Robimy wiele rzeczy, których inne firmy nie robią.
To achieve the desired tone and overall sonic effect, the prepared wood goes to the CNC process, where it actually became somewhat an instrument. This is where I have to mention that it's not like CNC is replacing the actual handwork. It's more like giving the wood the initial shape.
Zacząłem ja, jakby nie patrzeć, natomiast również przyczynkiem był tutaj Wikol, Radek Wykocki, który jest z nami do dzisiaj. Radek szukał zajęcia na wakacje, więc zaprosiłem go. Poznaliśmy się poprzez forum gitarowe polskie. Zaprosiłem go, poznaliśmy się, polubiliśmy się i zaczęła się zabawa. I tak trwa do dzisiaj.
Along with the body, we are gluing the blank of the neck. We choose all the pieces to preserve the tonal character that we desire and be sure that it will work mechanically. When gluing the body, it is crucial to correctly place all the pieces because there are certain ways to actually achieve the best sound effect. Then we cut the fretboard, and this is where the CNC comes in handy because all the fret slots are CNC cuts, so we are sure that they're in the right place so the guitar will intonate correctly. Then we put the fretboard and the blank together and start milling and shaping the neck to its final form. When we're done with the initial neck processing, we can go with the fret dressings. We are probably using Jesco stainless steel for all of our guitars. After each step taken in shaping and carving the neck, we have to step back and give it some time to rest and preserve its mechanical characteristics. It takes much more time than you could possibly think, up to a couple months actually, to get rid of the internal tensions inside the neck. And we want to be sure that the final product can reach our specifications and make a customer satisfied. After the time given the neck to rest, our skilled craftsmen give it the final form and shape it. So the profile is not necessarily as thin as it's possible, but it's slightly asymmetrical and it's designed to be as comfortable as it could be.
I think I played like Schecter for like 6 years or something, and when I had the Skervesen in my hand, I actually felt what it was to have a bass, because for like a long time, like I was just playing and not really taking care of what the tone was, the sound was, or the note. And when you get the Skervesen in your hand, like just the lows are just like there is a real note, they're real different. The highs are like super tight. So I just felt like that's actually like what a bass is supposed to be. So I was so like, finally! After I played bass for like 16 years, and so it's 3 years ago I just discovered what a bass was actually.
Over the years, the neck profile has changed. The overall dimensions of the neck have changed to become more playable, more comfortable, as well as the body itself. We've made new cutways and bevels to fit your body well, and returning customer will notice the difference.
One of the best things, comes with the, working at Skervesen is that you have contact with those wonderful people, talented guys. They are, sending their videos. Sometimes, some band, for 20 years, and they contact you. You can actually, exchange emails with the guy who was your idol when I was like teenager or stuff. So this is one of the best things. We are friends with some of the customers. We also met with lots of them in person. So this is the fun part and really nice thing working at Skervesen.
Basically, when the guitar is finished, it goes to our assembly room. Here's where we actually show our strengths. Some people tend to think that some parts are misaligned, but they're actually where we want them to be. We also cut all the nuts by hand to match the measurements on the bridge. Actually, every scale combination with the fender threads requires different measurements and different spacings. Each and every guitar is prepared individually to make sure that the intonation is correct and it's as easy to play as it could be. When it comes to fretwork, we're actually really picky in this particular domain. We spend a lot of time leveling the frets and crowning them and polishing each and every by hand individually. The accuracy is achieved by custom-made tools and lots of patience and effort put into it. We're really proud of the effect, so the string action is really low and the intonation is correct. Every part of the process is actually difficult and it's hard to achieve what you wanted to achieve. Maybe from a technical point of view, we chose the really hard way with the fretwork, but in the end, every step is crucial and everyone here puts a lot of effort to achieve what we want. When the guitar is in its final form, it's ready to be stained and covered with final finishing coats of lacquer. One more thing about the finishing side of a guitar is that every piece of wood is different, and working with some exotic woods and especially with burls can be really demanding, and they all require individual perspective and some patience and effort to achieve the effect that you actually want it to be, but in the end the wood speaks for itself. Building guitars was always a fluent process. The models have changed throughout the time. We were experimenting with different solutions, and even if you don't really notice them at the first glance, we are sure that every decision brings us towards a better instrument.
Yeah, we also wanted those guitars to look like fresh and like comfortable to play.
You can ask them whatever you want. I asked them, I have back problems, so can you make it like light? And I'm also like smashing my bass a lot, so can you make it resilient? And they said okay. And I've never had any issue. Like my bass is really light, and it's been smashed for like now 100 shows or something.
We are happy that so many details have changed since the beginning, that our guitars just become better and better.
So yeah, Skervesen bass, just as good as the guitar.
About soldering. Throughout the years, Radek Wikol-Wykacki has developed certain schematics and circuits that are as transparent and clear as it's possible. After soldering, we've spent some time setting up the guitar. We can actually go really low with the string action, even down to 4/10 of a millimeter, and it's still playable, and you can actually set the intonation correctly. What's also important about our string compensation system is that with all those long-scaled 7, 8 and even more strings, we want to keep the distances between the strings equal, and that helps us preserve the intonation and the comfort of playing. So we got a lot of feedback from all over the world that in different conditions our guitars can actually keep up and they stay in tune and they are still playable and be as comfortable as they should be. When it comes to setup, we always spend some time to make sure that every guitar can meet our expectations and can be set up how we think it should be set up. Every guitar is carefully inspected after the whole process to make sure that everything is smooth and nice and there are no dents or any scratches at all.
We have guitar all finished and after a final setup, so I know like from the technical point of view everything is correct with the guitar. Quality check is to be sure that guitar is in perfect condition. So when we find something, usually we try to check guitar on each build step. So there's no any major problems right now in guitar at this stage. So, but even if there's something, there are tiny things we can check it, remove it. It's very rare situation that guitar must be disassembled and get back to be redone. We put each guitar through quality check before we send it to customer, as we would like to be sure that everything is as we want it in this guitar. So I'm checking inch by inch if there's any dents or small scratches. I'm not talking about big things like something below millimeter. We see on the earlier stages if something wrong is going on and this guitar is not going, this build is not going any further. So at this point it's mostly like checking if we have nice surface, it's smooth, so you can have this nice feeling of playing this guitar. We use the satin finish that is very tiny, so you can feel the wood structure. And I'm also assuring that you don't have anything that you can feel with your hand. So it's super smooth, and you can just focus on playing this guitar. Also that we don't have any visual problems. I'm checking if the frets are sharp, and also if there are any problems with the surface, if the electronics cavity is fitting well, and we have all the elements here that the side dots or inlay has been done correctly. This guitar is part of the Viper run, so because headstock is looking really good, but it's kind of thin, so we added this aluminium insert here, so it stiffens the whole construction, and we are more assured that the headstock will not warp in any way. So it makes this more durable and holding the guitar in tune over the years. The final step is just cleaning of the guitar, and then before we send the guitar to customer, we are making authenticity card, and we pack guitar as good as possible to be sure that it arrives safely, so guitar can survive even the longest trip. We shipped, guitars to every continent except Antarctica, I guess. There was like guitars delivered to Alaska, to Japan, US, Europe, of course, and South Africa, Asia even, like we sent guitars to China and Australia. So this is amazing that people are trusting us, because most of them didn't have actual contact with our guitars. They didn't have an opportunity to actually try them first, and they trust us. They trust that we will, fulfill their dream, and they send us money, and we are here to give them the best we can, So this is also kind of like amazing part of this work.
Wzruszony to może górnolotne, jakieś zbyt górnolotne stwierdzenie. Natomiast jest mi niezmiernie miło, że zostaliśmy przez świat obdarzeni takim zaufaniem. To jest jedyna taka właściwie największa rzecz, która mnie zawsze zastanawiała. W dzisiejszym świecie to na mnie robi największe wrażenie, zaufanie. I chyba tyle.